The Royal Mail steamer Titanic is perhaps the most famous shipwreck in our current popular culture. Titanic was a British registered ship in the White Star Line that was owned by a US company in which famed American financier John Pierpont J.P. Morgan was a major stockholder. Titanic was built in Belfast, Northern Ireland by Harland and Wolff for transatlantic passage between Southampton, England and New York City. It was the largest and most luxurious passenger ship of its time and was reported to be unsinkable. Titanic launched on May 31, 1911 and set sail on its maiden voyage from Southampton on April 10, 1912 with 2,240 passengers and crew on board. On April 15, 1912, after striking an iceberg, Titanic broke apart and sank to the bottom of the ocean, taking with it the lives of more than 1,500 passengers and crew. While there has been some salvage outside of the major hull portion, most of the ship remains in its final resting place, 12,000 feet below sea level and over 350 nautical miles off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. Its famous story of disaster and human drama has been and continues to be recounted in numerous books, articles, and movies. Titanic has been recognized by the United States Congress for its national and international significance and in many ways has become a cultural icon. The disaster also resulted in a number of memorials around the world. In the United States, there are major memorials in Washington, D.C. and New York. The Widener Library at Harvard University is another major memorial commemorating Henry Elkins Widener, a victim of the sinking. Investigation and the development of measures for safety in navigation. The sinking of Titanic was one of the deadliest peacetime maritime disasters in history and quickly became a catalyst for change. The United States Congress held hearing on the casualty that resulted in a report and measures to improve safety of navigation. Similar investigations were held in the United Kingdom. The international community readily came together for the purpose of establishing global maritime standards and regulation to promote safety of navigations, the most important of which was the Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, widely regarded as the most important of all international agreements on the safety of merchant ships. Radioacoustic range in navigation, developed by the U.S. Coasting and Geodetic Survey in 1924, had its roots in the sinking of the Titanic. The transmission and reception of sound waves led to the invention of sonar. USCGS, United States Coast and Geodetic Survey, and hydrographic officers around the world grasp the power of sonar as an underwater search tool and also as a way to measure the depth of the ocean. Today, accurate the precise nautical chart are produced with the data acquired from survey vessels equipped with echo-sounding technology. Discovery of the Titanic wreck site by a team of explorers from the United States and France. The wreck of Titanic was discovered on 1st of September 1985 by a joint American-French expedition led by Dr. Robert Ballard of the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution and Jean-Louis Michel of the French Research Institute for Exploration of the Sea. The wreck was found approximately 350 nautical miles off the Canadian coast of Newfoundland in international waters, 2.5 miles below the ocean surface. Shortly after the discovery, Dr. Ballard testified before the United States Congress to encourage the enactment of legislation to designate the wreck as a maritime memorial. In July 1986, a plaque was placed on R.M.S.Titanic recording its discovery the previous year and calling for the wreck to be left undisturbed in memory of those who perished aboard her. In 1987, a United States company working with IFREMER returned to the wreck and began to salvage in artifact from the artifact field. United States Congress acts to protect Titanic through international corporations. Recognizing the shipwreck as a site of great historical and cultural significance, Congress passed the R.M.S.Titanic Maritime Memorial Act of 1986, directing the United States to begin negotiation of an international agreement to initiate multinational conservation efforts and develop guidelines for exploration, research, and salvage. It also calls for the recognition of the site as an international maritime memorial on behalf of those who lost their lives in the tragic sinking. National and international significance of the R.M.S. Titanic. The R.M.S. Titanic shipwreck holds exceptional national and international significance. It is one of the greatest jewels of world's maritime heritage.